This is Michigan's retirement coach, Mike Douglas.
One of the things that have touched on before is the idea of you start with the end and then you go from there. We're going to talk about Quentin Tarantino, your retirement plan. The idea of figure out the end goal and then reverse engineer it from there. We're going to talk about that coming up this half hour. It's an interesting concept. Isn't that, what is the book? The 7 Habits
of Highly Effective People.
Isn't that one of the rules in that book? You start from the end.
Yeah.
So
you start with the end in mind.
Yeah. So it's a rule of life for many aspects. We're going to talk about how it relates to you and your plan for the years ahead, your retirement plan. But first, for Quentin, make sure that you're checking yourself, ensuring that you are not going into this next phase of life on assumption, because unfortunately, so many people do. There's this list on GoBankingRates.com, Mike, talking about the assumptions people make about retirement that inevitably cause problems for retirees. That list of assumptions includes you won't live until you're 90 or in your 90s. You'll stay healthy the whole time. Your expenses will decrease. Markets will stay constant. Inflation will remain low. You'll be able to work. You'll get an inheritance. These are just some of the things on the list, Mike, because truly we're not thinking in the right frame of mind, a lot of us, when it comes to the years ahead. Which of these things do you think can do the most harm? And are there others that you would want to point out?
Well, I think there's a lot, and they hit us at different phases. I don't think it's this or that. I think it's all of these things really play into each other. I have a client, Janet. She became a widow at 59 years old.
Yikes.
And when that happens, everything changes very quickly.
Sure.
And so for her, it was this whole, we had this life built out and planned out for each other. And then now things are different. How do I adjust to that? And at the same time, she's in incredible health and she's going to live a long time, most likely. And we're building out for her longevity, but we had to kind of pivot in the plan from where she initially thought it was going to be. So when you hear these things about lifespan, about health, about expenses and all these things, we have to calibrate around the life you're living, but also the life we're planning for. So we start with the end in mind, and then we make adjustments along the way.
Okay.
For Janet, the challenge came from, all right, now I'm single. I have single filing taxes. Mm-hmm. I lost one of our Social Security benefits that she wasn't even able to receive yet. So we got widow benefits set up for her and worked through the different steps she needed to go through. But there was a lot. And then there's still inflation and there's still the stock market. And so a lot of those things factored in. So we built what we call the retirement life plan. Okay. It is the comprehensive plan that goes through, and we deal with, where am I getting income the rest of my life? What are the tax consequences of that income? What is the risk I'm willing to take in the market or in my investments? What is my lifetime tax liability? How much am I scheduled to pay? What's my estate plan look like? What about my long-term care planning? All these things under one heading of a retirement life plan. So we built that for Janet. We went through line by line, scenario by scenario, and made sure that no matter what happens, she'll be okay. In those moments that was stressful as we're building it out, but by the end of the process, she could look at it and say, all right, that's one thing I don't have to deal with anymore, is worrying about my finances. The things are taken care of. There's still other stuff in life, sure, much more important things, sure, that she's dealing with when you lose a spouse, when you lose a loved one, and you're dealing with all the emotions and everything that comes with it. But the financial things can be dealt with. And that was a great relief. And so for her, having that comprehensive retirement plan, that life plan built, made all the difference in the world. For a lot of people out there, that's what they're looking for. Yeah. They want peace in the world of finances. They don't want stress. They don't want projections. They want comfort, and they want to know that I'm going to be okay. If that's you and you're out there and you say, golly, I've got these accounts. I've talked to people. I've talked to a broker, and they've told me what stocks to buy, but they've never advised me on how to live on this money. Mm-hmm. That's the difference in a stockbroker and a true fiduciary financial planning advisor, someone who goes through and makes sure all these things are taken care of. If you'd like to understand what a life plan can look like for you, give us a call, 616-512-2127, or you can reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com. there's a link on there that says schedule a retirement roadmap today. If you go on there, just set up a time for us to have a phone call, a 30-minute chat to hear your story, hear where you're at, and hopefully give you some answers to your questions, some advice, or even consider getting together to talk about your retirement life plan. So give us a call. We can map that out for you. Each person's story is different. Heather, your story is different than my story. And our lives are different. Where we've grown up is different. Where we want to live in the future is different. And yet we're given these
rules that apply to all, right?
Yeah.
Invest in the market. Have a
Generic
401k.
prescriptions.
Right. And it's different for everybody.
Yeah. And that's exhausting because you just feel like, all right, now I'm left to figure it out on my own.
Yep.
Like use these generic rules and don't worry about the rest. But here's the reality.
Yeah.
If we talk about that list from the article,
yeah,
you will probably live an average lifespan. Like that's the law of large numbers says that we're going to end up somewhere in the middle. Probably there will be some people. My grandpa's 95.
Yeah.
I had a client just passed away at 98. But at the same time, I have another client who's in his young 70s and was just diagnosed with pretty severe cancer. So we don't know how long we're going to live, but the law of large averages says an average lifespan, a law of large numbers. I'm sorry. So while you can make all the educated guesses you want, there's a real good chance you could live longer. And so we should plan financially for that.
Yeah.
So if you live to 85, great. That's kind of the standard number. But if we plan you out to 95 or 100, it's a good thing because people still do it. So we want to make sure we're planning for that. One of the things you also can address is healthcare and home care needs could be a major impact on your retirement plan, on your investments, on your money.
Okay.
And you need to have a strategy in place for it. If you're going to be dealing with a nursing facility or just having someone come in the house and care for you, or as two people age together, maybe it becomes too burdensome for one to care for the other. My dad's family went through that. My grandpa got Alzheimer's and my grandma took care of him for a long time until she couldn't.
Got it.
And it was a long time. I think she did it for probably 7 years.
Yep.
And then eventually they had to call in care, and that costs money, and you need to build a strategy for it.
But that can be another stressful point for somebody to consider because planning for that can feel expensive because then what if you don't need it? So there are ways to plan with flexibility within our retirement plan, are there not?
Yeah. And the thing we probably hear most commonly from people is, I heard that there's X.
Right.
I heard that I should Y. Right. And it's like, well, you talked to an attorney and they said you should buy a trust. Shocker. I talked to a surgeon and he said I probably should get surgery. Shocker. Right. Like that's kind of the way life goes a lot of times.
Yeah.
But there are strategies. And some people say, well, I'm just going to buy long-term care insurance. I don't always agree with that either.
Okay.
Because some people buy insurance policies that by the time they need them, they're very expensive.
Yep.
And if you die having never used it, you
lose the money,
paid
right?
into a pooled benefit. So that's a problem.
Yeah.
There are strategies that you can use that say, well, I'm going to get some life insurance and the life insurance can help pay for it. Or you're going to, use an annuity that has a long-term care rider. That's not my big favorite, but it's one of them.
Okay.
There are some long-term care insurance policies that have a death benefit on them. That way, if nothing else, you never use it, you get your premium back.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
There's
the beneficiary gets the premium.
Correct. Yeah, it's a death benefit. Yeah, correct. You die, and the money you paid in goes back to your family.
Right.
That's a benefit.
Okay.
You can use the market to pay for it. There's just a lot of different ways, and unfortunately, we're just told that it's really expensive, and we got to deal with it. And you go, I don't know how to deal with it.
Right.
So that's one of the things. We're also told that your expenses will decrease as you get older.
Yeah.
But if medical goes up, like we're talking about, sometimes it counterbalances. Well, my life travel went down because my health care went up. Okay, well, it's not really a decrease. It's just a shift on the spreadsheet from one column to the other.
Right.
A lot of times you're also told, well, as long as the market does this, you should be okay. The market average is 10% a year. So yeah, as long as the market does 10% a year on average, then you should be fine, except for that. And that is true. I don't disagree with the sentiment.
Right.
I just believe that there's a thing called sequence of returns risk that says, well, what if the market's down 50% at the same time I need to go into a home, or at the same time I need money? And now I'm pulling from my investments that are down 40, 50% at the same time I need to withdraw money. So you need to make sure that you're using a appropriate level of risk in your portfolio, that you factor in inflation. All these things matter because it's your money and it's your life, and you just want to live it out the right way. when we talk to people about doing a retirement life plan, a comprehensive strategy that says, here's where you get money for all of these scenarios. Here's how we pay for it. Here's how we factor it in. If you need $200,000 of long-term care, here's what it does to the rest of your portfolio. And we can strategize for it all. We don't know the future, but we can run a lot of scenarios and we can figure the things out that make most sense so you can sleep better at night knowing there's a plan in place. A lot of you are listening, and the people who call in say the same thing over and over again. I just want to know that I'm going to be okay.
Sure.
I don't want to overpay in taxes. Yeah. I'm scared of long-term care costs. I don't know exactly how to get income. And I know we're going to go into this a little bit, but how do I turn my 401k into a paycheck? How do I live off this money appropriately without wrecking it in the future? These are the things that everybody wants to know and how they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
A retirement life plan can do that. It takes the mystery out of retirement, and it tells you month by month, year by year, here's how I get paid. Here's how we grow. Here's how the money passes on to the next generation.
Yeah.
And we know that we're doing what's right for ourselves, not for the big box financial institutions and not for the government. Doing what's right for our family, keeping as much money as possible in our pockets. Yeah. If that's who you are and you want to have a conversation about that, about understanding how to build it, about the rules, and talking to someone who lives in this space all the time, give us a call, 616-512-2127. And that's our phone number, 616-512-2127. Or you can reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com.
We've opened up 5 spots on Mike's calendar just for radio listeners today. So give us a call right now. Let's set a time on the calendar for your initial phone conversation with Mike. 616-512-2127 is the number to dial right now to set a time on Mike's calendar. It begins with this no fee, no obligation initial conversation, just you and Mike on the phone, so you can ask some questions, talk about what you're concerned about, what myths you might be believing in for your retirement. And Mike's going to explain to you how he and his team might be able to help. A local independent financial advisor helping folks all around Grand Rapids. Mike and his team ready to help you as well. 616-512-2127. We were just talking about how we're all told to kind of do similar things. We brought up the idea of 401ks. As you're nearing retirement, you might look at your nice 401k balance and say, okay, great. But also, now what? The next step is critical. This is financial author Jean Chatzky on Morningstar.
We did a great job at just banging the drum about the fact that people needed to max out, to pay themselves first, to contribute to their retirement account. What we did not do, what we're just starting to do, is to help people understand that they now have to reverse engineer the entire thing. They've got to take the money that they've accumulated and they've got to figure out how to turn it into a stream of income that's going to last as long as they do.
We have to turn it into that income, Mike. The concept of doing that, though, it's ironic. It's so much more difficult than it was to save the money than it is to spend it in retirement. So how do you do this? How do you help your clients take their retirement savings and turn it into the income that they need in retirement?
Well, there's a financial answer and there's a psychological, emotional answer.
Okay.
And they work together.
Okay.
So let's start with this.
Yeah.
The psychology and the emotional side of it. We spend our lives saving so that one day we can spend. But yet when it comes time to spend, we still have this saver's mentality.
Yep.
So those with large 401ks have been typically sacrificially saving all along the way. Ironically, some of our largest 401k, people who retire with the largest amount in their accounts did not have the highest paying jobs of our clients.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oftentimes, high salaries lead to high spending habits.
Sure.
And so when they retire with a decent amount of money, but not astronomical money. And then at the same time, you have what the book coined The Millionaire Next Door.
Yeah.
The 401k person who just every month, every paycheck, put away. And over 30 years or so, the market did really good things for them and turned it into $1.5 million or $2 million or $3 million.
Yeah.
And now they've got this great opportunity to live a really good, comfortable retirement life that they've earned, they've saved for, and that they have the opportunity to do. But they can't break the habit of being a saver. So I'm going through all the time saying, listen, we have so much. And once your money gets to a certain place, and this is a crazy thing for people to think about, if you get your 401k to $2 million, and that's a lot of money. That's a big number for people. If you get it to $2 million, and a lot of the people who got it there didn't earn more than like $120,000 or $140,000 a year.
Okay.
So you have this $2 million 401k.
Yeah.
And if it does 7% a year, it's going to pay out $140,000 every year. And people kind of laugh. They say, wait a minute, I work like a dog to get $120,000 or $80,000 or 100, $140,000. They worked a lot of hours and they drove and they saved and they did all, like it was hard to get $140,000. And now their accounts are at the place where it'll pay them $140,000 and they don't have to go to work for it. That's a weird place to be in.
Yep.
And it's a shift for people to go through. Well, what if the market crashes? What if this? What if that? And we always see the negative side because they're savers and they always want to be more cautious. That's why they have the money. So there's a psychological piece of working through the steps to become comfortable with saving, with spending.
Okay.
So now that I'm at this phase of life and I retire at 62 years old, I have these next 10 years to do as much as possible that's on my bucket list. Where do you want to go? What do you want to see? Who do you want to spend time with? What do we want to check off so you can say, hey, I did my job. My time on earth has been very productive. Everybody has a different list of what they'd like to see life be. Some people, you want to travel, you want to go to Europe, you want to go to Africa, you want to do all these things.
That me.
Other people, and that's us. We love travel.
Yeah.
Other people, though, if they travel a lot for work, or if they have a fear of planes,
they want that lake house, baby. Right.
Yeah, we're just going to hang out on Lake Michigan and do our thing.
Yep.
We may go south for the winter, but we are not, I had some clients who just loaded up their RV and headed south for the next month and a half to 2 months.
Yeah. And
that's what they love doing. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
But whatever it is you want to do, it takes the money that you saved turning into the money you're willing to spend. So we have investment vehicles and planning processes to go through and say, all right, you have, again, $1.4 million in your 401k, whatever the number is. Now that we have that, we want to segment it off and see if we use a portion of it for income, a portion of it for growth, a portion of it for legacy for kids and grandkids. You can really have this thing go to work for you in a way that you never imagined possible. You can be more generous than you've ever thought. You can be more intentional than you've ever thought. You can do travel and dream way better than most retirees, since 65% of retirees live exclusively on Social Security. There's way more things you can do if you're willing to go through that process to train and develop and understand what it looks like to retire with a plan in place, not just hoping the market does well. Well, if the market does this, then I can do that.
Right.
That's not how we want to live our life. And they say, I don't want to do that now. I'm 42. I don't want to live my life or run my business in a way where, well, as long as things go well, we should be okay.
Right.
We build safeguards for ourselves too, right? Yeah. And that's what clients should do. That's what people should do in their retirement. Live a life that's built around you. Have someone understand who you are, what you want life to look like, and help you build that plan, that goal for your life. If that's you and you say, you know what, I just want to know that we're going to be okay. I need help turning this 401k into a paycheck, or I've been living off of it, but I feel like there's market uncertainty. And now I'm afraid to take money out. That fear can be dealt with. It can be resolved and you can live confidently. Give us a call, 616-512-2127, or reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com.
Let's go back, shall we? Is it Wayne's World where they do the to travel, where they travel in time? Let's go back to the 80s. It was a different time. Many would say it was a better time. It's definitely a more manageable time. I do say so myself. Things that were happening in the technology space during the 1980s. Where did we go wrong? What brought us to this moment? No. I kid. It was in the 1980s that answering machines started to become more and more common in homes. Then, of course, cell phones started infiltrating our world. Cell phones first hit the market. What did we even do before this tiny little brick that we are now tethered to? Think about the panic do you know the panic that you feel when you don't know where your phone is?
When we have these quite a bit, when we either leave the house or there's this weird thing that happens when we're at my parents' house when we go for family parties.
Yeah.
Someone always leaves something.
Yeah.
So then about 10 minutes after we all leave, pictures start showing up in the group chat of just
Stuff.
Hey, whose sunglasses are these? Whose wallet is this?
Whose phone
So
is
I've
this?
just started leaving all my stuff in the car when we go to my parents' house.
Good call.
Just so I'm never the one who gets called out in the group chat.
What did we do before the technology that we have in the world we live in now? This is comedian Brad Upton on the matter.
People used to call us. We didn't know who it was. Remember the phone would ring? You would run to answer it. You pull your hamstring getting to the phone. Now you hear that thing ring, you go, well, whatever. And do you know why you would run to the phone? Listen to this. Because if you didn't get there, there were no answering machines. Look at you looking at me like, no way. And then you didn't know. You did not know. You'd stand like, who was that? And then, listen to this. You had to call all your friends on numbers that you stored in your head. All the old people in here, they know the number of the house they grew up in. Am I right? Yeah. Now do you know your spouse's number? No. Phones are smart. We're not.
This is dangerous. Do you know Kimberly's number by heart?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The numbers thing, I agree with most of what he said, but I also know my brain works a little differently. The numbers part, I know Kimberly's cell phone number, her sister's phone, or her mom's phone number, my parents' phone number.
So you know more numbers than most. It did used to be. I did used to have like 20 phone numbers memorized. Now I have my husband, my mom, my dad, and my sister. Just the inner circle.
I'm more forgetful of conversations.
Right.
At least that's what Kimberly tells me.
There's only so
She
much
says
brain
that I forget
space.
them a lot.
There's only so much brain space that can be occupied in each one of our heads.
I promise you, Kimberly, you never told me that. You never told me that, Kimberly. She goes, I have video evidence.
All right. Well, here on Wood Radio today, none of us want to get involved in that conversation. We're just going to stay over here neutral. Let's talk about the numbers that we know or don't know as we get closer to retirement. What are they? What are the numbers that we should have very clearly in our head in our retirement years, getting close to retirement?
Well, I think it's important to know this. If you don't have a plan, like everybody's always looking for this magic retirement pill, this magic thing that will just make it all easier.
Yeah.
And there's a great quote. We all know it. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a retirement account is not a plan.
Right.
It's just an account. I had someone who just called in last week, and she was asking about specific details, some stocks she was interested in. Now, if you listen to our program, you hear me say all the time, stock picking is not the way to retire. It's not the way to live a successful life. Mm-hmm. What you want to do is you want to build a plan that says, regardless of how the stocks do or don't do, I still live a good life. But she specifically called in asking about stock picking. What do you think about these positions? What do you think about that? So we walked through it for a while. And every time I'd come back with some logical answers, she would kind of have more of a fear-based response. But what if this? But what if that? And she knew the right answers, but couldn't avoid the fear of making a wrong mistake.
Yeah.
So we talked for about 20 minutes. And at the end of this discussion, I said, do you actually have a full retirement plan made by an actual fiduciary? And she kind of pushed back on that a little bit and said, well, no, I've got this. I said, no. Do you have a comprehensive retirement plan that was made by an actual fiduciary? Mm-hmm. So first she says, what do you mean by actual fiduciary? I said, everybody says that they're in your best interest, but is someone legally obligated to do what's your best interest? Well, I have this annuity that was sold to me by an annuity guy, and I have this stock portfolio that was sold to me by a stock market guy. Mm-hmm. I said, that's not what I asked. Do you have a plan that makes it all work? How do you know how much you're going to pay in taxes the rest of your life? How about your income, investments, risk, estate plan, long-term care, Medicaid premiums, or Medicare premiums, all these things together? Well, no, nobody's ever put it all together. I said, then you haven't worked with an actual fiduciary yet, in my opinion. Because by definition, a fiduciary looks at all these things, figures out what makes the most sense for you, and helps you not have these fearful conversations about what if my stocks don't do well.
Yeah.
And as we went through this, she kind of realized that what she had said, well, there was an advisor, and I'm going to air quote the word advisor.
Okay.
An advisor sold me this, and an advisor sold me that.
Yeah.
I said, advisors don't sell. They advise. And there's a difference.
Right.
Right. Salesmen sell, advisors advise. So there are a lot of really good financial advisors who are looking out for you, who are CFPs and the certified financial planners. They are obligated and they are desiring to do what's best for you. There's also a lot of salesmen out there who are just trying to get their commission, get their products, and get out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is the frustration. We're told, look to advisors. You get a mailer, you listen to a radio program, and all of a sudden you go and someone tells you they have this magic solution. So her plan needed to be built from the ground up. Here's what I have for investments. Here's what I want to do. We went through this whole conversation because she's never been walked through it before. Mm-hmm. She's just been sold or listened to the radio program and then called in, Yeah. So it's a wildly different experience when you're helping someone through all of these things rather than you come in, you say, I've got $200,000 to say, great, buy this annuity or buy this stock portfolio. And then they're done and you never see them again.
Right.
That's the frustration people deal with. So I understand if that's what you've been through. If you are looking for an actual fiduciary who will advise you on how to live the life you want to live and help you figure that out, give us a call, 616-512-2127, or reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com, and we will help you build a game plan. We will coach you on how to navigate these waters, because the numbers you need in retirement, the things you actually need to know, how much monthly income do I need? What do I need after taxes every month? How long does my money need to last? What is my longevity number? We don't have a crystal ball to say when we're going to die, but we want to look at how long the money will last in different scenarios. When should I take my Social Security? What tax bracket am I in? How much am I going to pay in taxes over the rest of my life? How much do I have to take out at my required distribution age? What is my health care costs? What's the withdrawal rate? So these are all the different things. And then what's my debt number? How can I eliminate my debt or deal with these things? Is there good debt to have in retirement? Or should I be completely debt free? Mm-hmm. These are all great questions. And I just went through a list of some of the things we discuss through our actual fiduciary process. And as we go through it, the whole thing is, I guess we can say this pretty bluntly, Heather. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
The financial industry is built for the financial industry. They do not care about you. They care about their shareholders and they care about their companies.
It's like Las Vegas, right? Like Las Vegas is beautiful and we love traveling there, but the casinos were not built for us to win. You think those hotels are so beautiful because of how much money we lose at the casinos. Yeah, not to say that you're going to lose a lot of money to the financial industry. Hopefully you won't. But the financial industry is built for the success of the financial industry.
Yeah. And that's the problem. And that's who sells.
Yep.
The financial industry sells. They will tell you to buy their products because it will solve your problems. That's a salesman.
Yep.
I just think we have to avoid that and protect people from making the mistake of not being advised or coached, but being sold. And a lot of people are sick and tired of it. And that's why they're calling in and having these conversations of help me figure out how to do this thing right. If that's you, give us a call, 616-512-2127. We will walk you through our actual fiduciary-based process in income planning, investment planning, risk management, taxes, estate planning, long-term care, Medicare, all these things, because that's your retirement life. That's your money. That's your life savings. Build it the right way so you can live it out the right way. 616-512-2127 or reach out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com.
Mike and his team, they're here to help guide you through this process because at the end of the day, the goal is that you're going to retire one time. But Mike and his team, they're retiring every single day or helping folks do that. So they got a wealth of knowledge in their pocket that they're ready to share with you. michigansretirementcoach.com is our website where you can go to start the conversation with Mike and his team or click on the links we got posted in the show notes.
Thanks for listening to Michigan's Retirement Coach with Mike Douglas. To learn more, visit michigansretirementcoach.com.
Michael Douglas is an investment advisor representative of Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Michael Douglas is licensed in your state, please call 517-323-7526. Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Michael B. Douglas, NPN number 9650939.